get started. Oh, we got to turn that up. Hi, Dad, here it's Friday.
If you got a problem, don't care what it is. If you need a hand, I can show you the biz. I can help. I got two strong arms. I can help.
All right, howdy everybody, it's Friday. Who's here? Who's joining us today? Is everybody ready to get started? Let's just have some fun. Hi, my name is Carl Trent, and I want to help you have the perfect Walt Disney World vacation. That's what we're going to talk about today, how to have a simple, fun, magic Walt Disney World vacation. We're going to have a big time today. Big time, lots of stuff going on. All right, so I got the list right here, the big pile of papers I've got every week. This week it's a little bigger than normal. So let's just get started. What are we going to do today? First, we got to say thank you to our partners here at celebrationshirts.com. They do a great job. Love their shirts. If you're going to Walt Disney World and you want a cool shirt, like for the whole family or just for yourself, they've got all kinds of cool designs. We've even got our own store in the Celebration Shirts store. The link is going to be down in the comments, but go ahead and go on over to Celebration Shirts, grab one of their shirts, grab a bunch of their shirts, get your own shirt designed. It's just a really good place to get shirts for family outings, for businesses. They don't just do Disney shirts. They do all kinds of shirts for anything. Give them a call, give them a shout, go over to celebrationshirts.com, look at them on their Facebook page. You'll get to see all kinds of their different designs. Everybody at Disney wearing Celebration shirts. It's pretty cool. Anyway, thanks to our partners, celebrationshirts.com. All right, so what are we going to do today? First, if you like Lunch with Dad, do me a big favor and hit the little like button over here. Just hit it. Maybe hit it a bunch of times. Like, love, hearts. Wow. You just love Dad. That's pretty cool. Sorry if you hear any background noise. We've got a repairman in the house. He was supposed to come sometime this morning. Guess what time he came? 10 minutes ago. But it sounds like he might be leaving now, so hopefully that noise will go away. But anyway, so back to like, love, comment. Any comments you have, questions, we're going to answer questions here in about 30 minutes or so. I've got a bunch of questions that came in on our Ask Dad page this week that we're going to be answering, and then we'll get to your questions. Any questions you have, just stick them down in the comments, and we'll answer them. We'll stay here until we get them all answered. But all right, so what are we going to do today? Let's just look at the schedule. I like to have a plan. And so when you go to Walt Disney World, you've got to have a plan. So here is our plan for the day. We're going to start off with something new, something that I'm calling Dad's Top and then a number. The number's going to change from week to week because sometimes there'll be more things than others. This week it's going to be the top three, Dad's top three. Then we're going to do the news of the week. Then we'll do Dad's tip of the week. Then we'll answer questions, both from our Ask Dad page and your questions. Again, put the questions down in the comments. And then we'll end up with some final comments. And Dad will say goodbye. Saddest part of the day, right? Saddest part of the day when Dad says goodbye. See you next week. All right, let's just get on with it. Okay, so Dad's top three. This week, I want to talk about my top three sweet treats in the Magic Kingdom. It's kind of funny. I talk about all these desserts and sweets that I like, but I really don't like a wide range of them. I really kind of have kind of a set schedule of desserts and sweets that I like. So what are my top 3 sweets in the Magic Kingdom? Number 1, anybody know? Can you guess? Come on, guess. That's right, Dole Whip. Dad loves Dole Whips. And it's kind of weird, kind of interesting. I wasn't a big Dole Whip fan until a few years ago when Mrs. Mom and I went over to Hawaii. We went to the Dole Whip plantation, and that was really the first time I got a taste of the Dole Whip, their pineapple ice cream, whatever it's called. That's the first time I kind of got a taste of the Dole Whip. So next time we went to Disney World, I had to try Dole Whip. And that meant standing in line for an hour. Yeah, I stood in line for over an hour to get a Dole Whip. And then I was hooked. From then on, every time we go, we've gotten a Dole Whip. But the good thing about that is I think it was 2 years ago, Disney switched the place where they serve the Dole Whips. Now it's down by the Tiki Room, the Enchanted Tiki Room. And so now, when they did that, the lines went away. It's not that they're not selling as many Dole Whips. They just built a little better process and a little better, and put an extra machine in, and now they can serve a whole lot more Dole Whips than they used to be able to in a shorter period of time. And you can even mobile order Dole Whips now. That came out a couple of weeks ago. I can't wait to try that. I'm going to be there in 10 days now. I'll be in the Magic Kingdom. I'll be getting me a Dole Whip or 2 or 3. Dole Whips are my favorite sweet treats in the Magic Kingdom. All right, so the number 2 sweet treat in the Magic Kingdom is a Mickey bar. Everybody loves Mickey bars, right? A couple of years ago, there was a picture of a Mickey bar that came up. It was the full picture of the Mickey bar, and I kind of made a comment that they have 2 ears? Mickey bars have 2 ears? Really? I get a Mickey bar, I rip it open, I start eating that ear right off. I don't know if it's left or right ear I start with, but I just grab an ear and I go for it. I could eat too many of those. It is another one of. It is my second favorite sweet treat at the Magic Kingdom. So number 3. Now, this one is kind of one that's just kind of come up recently. 4 or 5 years ago, 3, 4, 5 years ago, Disney started getting into cupcakes. Before Be Our Guest opened, cupcakes weren't nearly as big a deal. Once Be Our Guest opened, it seems like cupcakes were everywhere at the Magic not just at the Magic Kingdom, but all over Disney World. That has kind of become the go-to dessert at Walt Disney World. That's the cupcakes. And I think the cupcake is just pretty much kind of the perfect size dessert, treat, whatever you want to call it. It's just a nice, nice size. It's not too much. It's not too little. My favorite is strawberry. I love the strawberry cupcakes. I even like the icing. I'm not a big icing fan. Usually when we get cakes, birthday cakes, or cakes, birthday cakes. When we get birthday cakes, I scrape off the icing and give it to Mrs. Mom or the Princess because they both love icing, and sometimes they even fight over it. But I don't usually eat icing, but though the buttercream icing that they put on those cupcakes, I'll eat that. So those are my top 3 sweet treats at the Magic Kingdom. Number 1, the Dole Whip. Number 2, the Mickey Bar. And number 3, a cupcake. So what are your favorite sweet treats? Put them down in the comments. Tell us, what are your favorite sweet treats? Which ones do you like? Love to hear what you think about sweet treats at the Magic Kingdom. Okay, so that's that page. Let's move on to the news of the week. What is the big news? Last week, right after lunch with Dad, I mean just probably 5 minutes after lunch with Dad. I think Disney did this on purpose so I couldn't talk about it last week. But last week they announced that dogs were now going to be, they were going to let dogs stay in the hotel rooms. We're going to talk about that some more in a little bit, so I'm not going to talk much about that right now. But that's one of the big news. That was probably the biggest news item of the week. There are a couple others. There was a kind of an announcement. Disney confirmed there's going to be a new hotel over by the Swan and Dolphin. It's probably not, I don't think it's going to be a Disney hotel. This is going to be another hotel in the Weston Group, which is the group that now owns the Swan and Dolphin. So there's going to be a new hotel over by the Swan and Dolphin. It's really going to be more by the mini golf course there. Not Winter Summerland. I can't. I should know, but anyway, there's a tennis court there, and that's going to go away for a parking lot. But okay, so also news items, Star Wars: The Last Jedi, the new movie of Star Wars. One of the scenes from the new movie of Star Wars is going to come to Star Tours. And that's going to be November 17th, even before the movie opens in December. So I think it's December 13th, if I remember right, that the new movie comes out. But even before that, one of the scenes from that movie is going to be in Star Tours. This is a Disneyland one, but it might have somewhere down the road ramifications on Disney World. Run Disney has canceled all the future events at Disneyland. Now, they say it's because of construction, and that's probably true. There is a lot of construction going on at Disneyland, but it's kind of one of those eye-opening things. People are starting to say, are they going to cancel the Disney World Run Disney events? My guess is no, probably not, just because they're very, very popular. A lot of people. They're always bringing crowds, little crowds to the park in times when there aren't crowds at Disney World. So I don't think that's going to affect Walt Disney World, but for the foreseeable future, while the Star Wars construction and the construction around Disneyland finishes up, the Run Disney events are going to be canceled there. Hollywood Studios opened 4 new stores. They've been opening lots of stores, and none of these really, the only one that kind of, a couple of them gave me a chuckle. Swings and Things, which is hammocks, and Savannah Bee, the honey store. They just moved, but so they've got new stores in Disney Springs, and also the last one yesterday. I don't know if you can see that picture. It's kind of in a bad spot there. It's kind of a little picture. I don't know why this thing doesn't let me put a big picture up. It used to, but that's a picture of the new Disney experience, NBA experience that they're building at Disney Springs, where they tore down the Disney Quest. I couldn't remember that. Where they tore it down, now they're replacing that with the NBA experience. All right, so that is the news of the week. Okay, so, and last week, I think it was, we talked about all of the special discounts and packages that were coming out for Walt Disney World. And I said Disney's hurting for money and they need you to come and book packages, and they're going to be putting out all these kind of cool packages. The last one was the Christmas gifts. If you book between now and like November 15th, I think you can get a special Christmas magic band and they come in a very wrappable box that you can put under the Christmas tree, surprise your kids for Christmas. Well, this week Disney upped the ante. They introduced a new, just kind of surprised us all, a limited edition. Only certain people have access to it, and our partners at Destinations to Travel have access to this big Christmas promotion package. This package is, man, so many things in this thing. I just want to. Stephanie and Tatiana, my assistants, and I were talking about this when it came out the other day, and we all just want to just drop everything and go and do this. This is just so cool. Just give you a few details. So it's called the Ultimate Disney Christmas Package. It's from, but the problem is it is only for certain dates. It is only for December 21st through December 26th, a 5-night package. Now, what you get in that 5-night package, you get everybody in your party gets a ticket to Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. You get special nighttime access to Pandora. You get a Hollywood character dining experience at Hollywood Studios. You get an invitation to a Christmas dinner in Epcot. Now, these are on the 21st, 22nd, 23rd. The Christmas dinner at Epcot is the 24th. And then on the 25th, on Christmas Day, you get a special gift from Disney. So this is just, and then there's the price, starting at $139 per person per night. That's just incredible, and that is for it's only available at certain moderate, deluxe, and deluxe villa resorts. So $139 per person per night at a moderate with tickets, park hopper tickets. It includes all of those experiences I just listed. I was trying to remember if it was the Disney dining plan or not, but at least it's park hopper tickets, 5 nights at the resort, a Mickey's Very Merry Christmas. Mickey's Very Merry Christmas, that's $100 ticket itself. $100 per person ticket itself, just for Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, plus all this other stuff. This is a really, really, really good deal. So if you would like to just drop everything and go to Disney World for Christmas, now is the time to book. December 21st through 25th. It's just a great package. Get in touch with our partners at Destinations to Travel. The link will be down in the comments below, and book this. I mean, you can book through November 15th, but my guess is if you don't book pretty quick, they're going to be all sold out. They may already be all sold out. A couple of days ago when I talked to Shannon from Destinations to Travel, there was still availability. But my guess is you probably need to jump on this pretty quick if you're interested. I mean, yeah, it's very limited. Not very many people can just drop everything and spend and go at Disney at this time. But boy, is it tempting. This is just one of the best things that I've seen Disney put out. It is probably the best discount, the best package that I've seen Disney put out. All right, speaking of our friends at Destinations to Travel, I just don't have any problems recommending Destinations to Travel because they just do such a good job with customer service, with taking care of people, with helping with ADRs and tickets and dining plans. And they just do a great job. In fact, this week I get these all the time, but I thought it would be good just to share a little feedback that I've gotten from customers. This is the first one. This one comes from Katie. Katie says, Mike, it's written to one of the agents there, my buddy Mike. It says, Mike, we just wanted to take a minute on our last day here at Disney to say thank you. This has been a dream vacation to us, and you were a huge reason for that. It's always sad to leave the magic. That's why we are going to plan another trip in 2018. We're not 100% sure of the dates yet. So once we do figure things out, we are wondering if you would have us back. We would love to have you part of another one of our family vacations. Again, thank you so much for everything you did. I hear that kind of thing all the time. Got another one real quick, and we're just going to read it real quick. This one came from Shanna. Shanna says, I wanted to give you a compliment and a shout out to one of your employees. Nicole Thornton was my travel agent this go around to Disney. I have to say, I've never met a nicer person or a person who is so willing to make things easy and magical as she did. She booked our vacation a few weeks ago, and my family and I had our first "we're going to Disney" meeting, and changes needed to be made to our reservation to accommodate everyone's need. I felt bad for contacting her with these changes, but she was ever so happy to make these changes and more. I know it's just such a compliment. It's just a small thing, but in my eyes, she made my day, and she made mine just a few times in the few times I have talked to her. Thank you for having people like her on your team. It will bring us back again to book all of our vacations. Thank you again, and tell Nicole how much she is appreciated. These are the kind of things I hear all the time about destinations to travel. If you're going to Walt Disney World, even if you've been there 1,000 times and you can book it, hey, I've been a travel agent and I still use destinations to travel. Please go to our destinations to travel page, give them a shout. They will take great care of you. If they don't tell me about it, I'll make sure they do. So that's wanted to share that, just because I'm so passionate about the help that they give to people. I really do think they are the best. All right, so next, what are we going to do next? We're going to do Dad's Tip of the Week. Okay, so got papers under my feet. I can't stand it. Here we go. All right, so Dad's Tip of the Week. This week we're going to talk about why are you going to Walt Disney World. So last week we talked about the second most important question that you could ask when you're going to Disney World. Who are you going with? This week we're going to talk about the number one most important question when it comes to dealing with a Walt Disney World vacation, and that's why are you going to Walt Disney World? Now I know a lot of you are going, huh? What are you talking about, Dad? Well, let me explain. Why are you going to Walt Disney World is important. This is right out of the book. This is the first chapter in the planning section, in the simple section of the book. So let's just read right out of Dad's book. Here we go. Okay, so I think that knowing why are you going to Walt Disney World is important. In fact, I think it's crucial. The great philosopher Yogi Berra once said, "You've got to be careful if you don't know where you are going because you might not get there." And exactly, Yogi, that's what we're talking about here, knowing why we are going. Pigment butts in, my buddy Pigment, he says, "But Dad, you said where, not why." Why, yes, Pigment. Yes, he did. But like Yogi, Dad's going to butcher the English language and his quote a bit. Try this. You have to know why you are going, or you won't know if you had any fun. That's a Dad original, by the way. Pigment says, "Yogi, you're not, Dad." That hurts, Pigment. It really hurts. Why is the most important question you can answer, especially as you start to develop your plan. Why are you going to Walt Disney World? No, it's not obvious. Let me repeat this. This is the most important question. Why are you going to Walt Disney World? This is where the magic comes into the process of making your plan. Knowing why you are going will give your trip a purpose. It gives it depth. It's no longer an ordinary vacation. It becomes specialer. Yeah, that's a great Yogi-like word. I do go on and talk about this a lot because I think it's important. For us, Mrs. Mom and I, we're always doing this. We didn't even think about it really as we were going along. This kind of came up in my mind about a year ago. But the why you do a trip. A few years ago, we went on our new and different trip where we planned around doing things that were new and different, things we hadn't done before. This trip we're kind of struggling with. We don't really have a why. I said, my idea is, please let the food be good, because we've taken a couple of vacations where the food wasn't good, a couple of trips where the food wasn't very good, and we're looking forward to the Food and Wine Festival because we're looking forward to some good food. So why are you going to Disney World? Is it for characters? Is it just I got to take the kids for the first time, or I want to experience some new rides, or I want to go see Pandora? When you know why you are going, it will help clear up what you're going to do day to day. All right, so the bottom line is, why are you going to Disney World? It is the first thing you need to know when you start planning your trip. Even name your trip. That makes it even more fun. So that's Dad's tip of the week this week. All right, so we got that done. All right. Oh, speaking of Dad and going to Disney World, I'm going to Disney World. I'm going to be there not next week, but the week after. We arrive on the 29th of October. This is October. We arrive on the 29th. We'll be checking into the Port Orleans Riverside. Then on Monday the 30th, we're going to be in Epcot. We're going to be over in the World Showcase mainly in Epcot. Working our way around the World Showcase. We typically start over at Mexico and work our way around. Why am I telling you this? Because I want to meet you. I want you to come by and say, "Hi, Dad." I'll have my backpack on, and in, whoops, wrong side. My backpack on, and in Dad's backpack, there are things like pens. And let's see if I can pick one out. Pins. There might be a couple of books to give away. There might be a couple of calendars to give away. See the calendar back here? You never know what Dad's going to have. One thing I will have for the first person that meets me every day and says, "Hi, Dad," I'll have a $25 Disney gift card. So I'll give a $25 Disney gift card away every day. So first day we're going to be at Epcot on Monday the 30th. Tuesday we'll be in Animal Kingdom. Wednesday we go to the Magic Kingdom. I don't know why I'm looking at that calendar. I got the list right here. Wednesday is the Magic Kingdom. Thursday is Epcot. Friday, Disney Hollywood Studios. Saturday, the Magic Kingdom. And Sunday, we hop on the big plane and head back home. So that's the schedule. Please come and say hello to Dad. While Dad's at Disney World, I'm so excited. You just don't know how excited I am. Okay, so that's all of the ads, all of them. But no, that's the good stuff. So it's time to move on to questions. If you have any questions, I see we've already got a couple of questions. If you have any questions, throw them down in the comments, and I'll answer them here in, probably 15 minutes or so. It'll take me about 15 minutes. I think I got 9 questions today to answer. They just keep rolling in every day. I got a bunch of questions to answer. As soon as we get through the Ask Dad questions, we'll get to your questions. So stick them down in the comments, and we'll answer them here in a few minutes. All right, so the first question. This one comes in from Phil in Brooklyn, New York. As of today, the Pop Warner teams do not know who is going to the championships. Just curious, does Disney have a block of rooms for these people, and will they release additional to the public if not booked by then? I'm currently booked in Disney Springs Preferred Hotel because there was nothing available in the short planning time I had. Phil, because this is kind of what they do, I asked our partners at Destinations to Travel to answer this, and I got the answer from Stephanie Walsh. Stephanie is one of their great travel agents. She's one of the agents that handles our bookings. Here's what Stephanie says. Stephanie says, "Great question. I spoke with the group reservations, and what typically happens is a block of room is reserved for the appropriate number of rooms needed based on previous year's attendance. Once the participating teams are decided and those families book rooms they need, any rooms not used will be released for general bookings. There is no guarantee that there will be any, but it is a possibility. I would suggest checking frequently as the time draws closer, or even better, enlist the free help of a vacation planner in checking for you. I hope you have a magical vacation." Like Stephanie said, typically, and I know this from baseball, My son was a baseball player growing up. We did these big tournaments, and we tried to qualify for the national tournaments. And you didn't book the rooms until you had qualified for the national tournament. They had blocks of rooms, so you would book the rooms when you qualified for the tournament. So, will they be released? Disney knows how. Maybe not the exact number, but really pretty close. Um, Typically what happens with the Pop Warner Championships, the cheerleader and the football championships that first full week of December. Typically what happens is it's not a factor of they put rooms back into general circulation. What usually happens is they're grabbing more rooms. That's happened several times. I know in years past they start out in one of the All Stars and usually a couple other rooms around, but then they had to book over in the Coronados, or one of the moderates, and they ended up taking over a moderate. So um, it's not probably going to happen. But as she said, get somebody to look for you. Keep looking. You never know. This might be the year that nobody comes. Nobody's going to the Pop Warner events this year. That would be something special. That would be breaking news. Anyway, so the bottom line, Dad's bottom line is there's probably a very small chance that this could happen. It might happen. Get in touch with Destinations to Travel or a good Disney travel agent and have them watch for you. Have them do that work for you, so you don't have to be calling every week, looking every week. But they might be able to find something you can't. They have great contacts, and sometimes they can find things that nobody else can. While we're talking about Disney hotels and availability, a lot of people have been asking me, Dad, or saying, Dad, all the rooms are booked. All the rooms are booked. Does that mean the crowds are going to be crazy? Not necessarily, especially right now. There is a reason why all the rooms are booked right now, and for the foreseeable future. And it's not because the crowds are going to be up. I think the crowd patterns are going to stay pretty much like they usually do. What has happened is the construction at a lot of the hotels, there's major construction. Coronado Springs, they took a whole set of buildings out. Same thing at Caribbean Beach Resort, a whole area of buildings out. The Pop Century has refurbishment going on that is taking a building at a time out of service. Maybe not a whole building, but at least a floor of the building. They're taking a bunch of rooms out at the Polynesian. When they did the Pop Century refurb, they took a bunch of rooms and turned them over to the Disney Vacation Club. When they redid the Wilderness Lodge this last year, the just opened Copper Creek area of the Wilderness Lodge, they took 8-person rooms and turned them into 4-person rooms. I'm sorry, other way. Yeah, 8-person rooms, turned them into 4-person rooms. So, and they didn't double the number of rooms. So, probably 6 to 10% of the normal amount of rooms are out of service from what they had 2 years ago, before the Polynesian rooms opened up, the DVC rooms opened at the Polynesian. From what they had before that started, the number of rooms available is down about 8 to 10%. So Disney on an average night is 87%. Their average occupancy rate is 87%. So you take and take 10% of those extra rooms out, and you're 95% booked, which is fully booked. And so also Disney redid something over the weekends. They're booking over the weekends, and if you're booking over a weekend, it's really hard to get a room. So the suggestion is to book early. Book 6 months out. Beat the rush. Book as soon as you possibly can. That's always been my recommendation, but I know a lot of people say, yeah, you wait until the discounts come. No, book as soon as you can. Whether it's 6 months, whether it's 18, as soon as you can book a room, you book a room. That way you get it locked in. It's just with all of the construction going on now. 2-3 years from now, when the Star Wars hotel opens, these new hotels open at. Well, the new hotels aren't going to help the thing a lot because these are DVC resorts. The one at the Caribbean Beach Resort is a DVC property. The one at Coronado Springs is a DVC property. So until Disney builds another general hotel or expands one of the other general hotels, we're not going to see a lot of the availability jump up overnight. Might jump up a little bit because the DVC rooms, they leave some of them for the general public, but for the most part, they are reserved for DVC, Disney Vacation Club. So that is why you're having such a hard time booking rooms at Walt Disney World. It's not a crowd thing. It's not a number of people. It's just there's not as many available right now. Okay, next question. Here we go. This one comes from Mike in Boston. Mike says, Dad, we have a trip booked for early November. With the news of families now allowed to bring dogs to Disney, that's quite a concern for my allergic wife. We have a trip booked for quite some time now. What happens the week before we get there? A family with a dog was in a room. This is not good for those of us allergic to dogs. Mike. Hi, Mike. Yeah, this kind of came out of nowhere. Disney kind of ham-handedly, in a lot of people's views, rolled out this policy. No, but number one, this is just a test. It's not at all the resorts. It's only at 4 resorts: the Art of Animation, the Port Orleans Riverside, the Yacht Club, and the Fort Wilderness Campgrounds. Now, it's always been available at the Fort Wilderness Campgrounds, but now you can do it at the other 3 resorts. So let's talk about the realities of this. Number one, this is going to be limited areas in these resorts. There are designated areas in these resorts for pets because they're going to be close to this special outdoor area that they're building for pets, a pet run that they're building. They've just limited it to a very small part of the resorts. It's not like they're going to be in all the rooms. It's just a small number of rooms in each resort. And so the chances of you randomly getting a room that had a dog in it the night before is almost nil. You can ask, you can make it part of your requests that you fill out that you're not in the dog area because of allergies. Disney won't put you in that area. You don't have to worry about it. When you check in, you can verify it. You go to the front desk and say, my wife is severely allergic to dogs. No problem. You're not going to be in a room where there are dogs. Disney is very sensitive to people with allergies, to people with special needs. That's just not going to happen. Dogs are not going to be everywhere. They're still not allowed in the parks. They're not allowed in the dining areas. They're not allowed. They're just supposed to be in these designated small areas. So you really probably are not going to find it to be something you have to worry about. You're probably more likely to run into well, like we did, a rabbit, a stray animal, than you will be to run into a dog after this influence. Again, it costs a lot of money. It's $50 per night, or $75 depending on which hotel you're at. So it's not just bring them and bring them and it's free. It's expensive. So I don't think you're going to find that this is a big deal. It's something new. I know change always makes us nervous, but the bottom line is, Dad's bottom line is, they're going to be confined to a limited area. And so it's not going to be general in all the rooms. You just make sure you say, we're allergic, and you'll be separated. It won't be a factor. Okay, so let's see. That's that one. All right, here we go. I got to take a break and get a little drink here. Yes, it's water. Okay, so here's the next question. This one comes, excuse me, here's the next question. This one comes in from Anne in Pennsylvania. My husband and I have a night out and would like to see illuminations and have dinner. Any suggestions? And not gourmet food. Well, you've come to the right place, Anne, because I'm not a gourmet food person. I am a meat and potatoes. Give me a steak and a tater, and I'm a happy camper. So we talk about going to some of these restaurants over in Epcot, and I say, what am I going to eat? Mrs. Mom's a little more adventurous than I am, but it really comes down to what am I going to eat? So I kind of know where you're coming from. So let me give you my recommendations. I'll give you several that are good tater guys, meat and tater guys, places to eat. My favorite, where I would start, is Via Napoli. If you like pizza, I think Via Napoli is a great place to eat. I love pizza, I love Italian food. Via Napoli is a great place to get good pizza. Also, one of my favorite places to eat, excuse me, one of my favorite places to eat is Teppan-Edo, the place where they make your food at your table. You know, you've got the chef that's cutting and doing the whole show thing, and it's kind of fun. It is a fun place to eat, and it's just meat and vegetables. It's nothing really. There's not any fancy sauces. I mean, there are sauces, dipping sauces, but you don't have to dip them into dipping sauces. So you can have just regular steak and steak and shrimp, and it's just I really like Teppan-Edo. After that, you've got things like the Rosencrown. Rosencrown is kind of pub food, so it's very basic food. You could go over to the Coral Reef restaurant, the Coral Reef, and sit and eat with the fishies swimming around. It's pretty cool. It has steaks and things like that. So those are probably the ones I would start with for a nice evening meal for a date night. For date night, those would be the ones I would suggest for a date night. Bottom line is there's so many good places to eat around Epcot. For us less adventurous eaters, there's Via Napoli, Teppan-Edo, Coral Reef, Rosencrown, all good choices. All right, hope that helps, Anna. Anne, can't read my own typing. All right, this next one. Okay, we gotta have some fun with this one. Any thoughts on mid-June weather at Disney World as far as the rain goes? Okay, when we talked about rain, all these rain songs came into my mind. Okay, and then there's this one, there's raindrops are falling on my head. Oh, I just can't stop. I just can't stop myself. Rainy days and Mondays always get me down. Love Karen Carpenter. Oh, and then one more. Okay, one more. A rainy night in Georgia. I just had to have some fun with that. Okay, so rain and Disney World in June. As it so happens, June is the rainiest month, the wettest month at Walt Disney World. So it's gonna rain in June at Walt Disney World. And it might rain a lot. I know this year, they've been kind of having a drought up until June, and June just came. The Earth likes balance. So now this is just Carl going crazy. This is not anything scientific. Oh, it is kind of. We see the same thing in Oklahoma. You get a drought for a year or two, and then all of a sudden the next couple of years are wet. So the Earth kind of likes that balance, and so there's a drought for a few months in Orlando area, and then all of a sudden you've got rain for a month. So, but June is typically the wettest month at Walt Disney World. But that being said, June, July, August, September are all fairly wet months. In fact, almost all year round. June rains typically come in the form of afternoon showers. So 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, it'll cloud up, it'll shower for a few minutes, and then it'll quit. Maybe 30, maybe 45 minutes, typically. Short afternoon showers, but they happen every day. which is not a bad thing. What that means is when it rains, it cools down. Sometimes when it rains for a little bit longer than 30 or 45 minutes, the crowds leave. So rain can be a good thing. Well, it is a good thing at Walt Disney World. But June, yes, the bottom line is June is the rainiest month. I'm a big poncho up and soldier on guy. I should have just put a poncho on for this, but that would I kind of probably would have banged on the mic and would have made a lot of noise. But I always say, just poncho up and soldier on when it rains. We've been there at a Mickey's Very Merry Christmas party where it rained all night. It was kind of miserable, but a lot of fun. So there you go. June, poncho up, soldier on. All right, next question. Here we go. This one comes from Susan in Virginia. We will be taking our 5 grandchildren to Disney World in the middle of November. We'd like to treat them to a few extra special activities. I can't talk. We are planning on breakfast with the characters. Are there any other things that you could recommend, please? Susan, this is so cool. Taking the grandkids to Disney World. I can't wait to do this. I might even have to rent some kids and take them to Disney World while I'm impatiently waiting for the kids to have my kids to have kids. But anyway, there are a ton of special things to do. Almost everywhere you look, there are extra things that you can do with your grandkids. It kind of depends on their ages and their genders. You're not going to take Bippity Boppity Boutique is for young girls. But there are a lot of things like that you can do. Instead of Bippity Boppity Boutique, both girls and boys up and maybe even a little older like the Pirates League. You go get to be a pirate, you get dressed up, you get the makeup, you get to sign the book making you take the pirate oath. That's just pretty cool, the Pirates League. And it's cheaper than Bippity Boppity Boutique. You've got things like in Animal Kingdom, you've got Meet the Elephants. If your kids are into animals, there's lots of different little special things in Animal Kingdom, but that's a tour that's it's not as expensive. Over in Disney Springs, you've got the, find this word, aerofoil balloon. It used to be Characters in Flight, where you can go up and you can see all around Disney. Go up in the balloon and see all around Disney. You've got Pick-a-Pearl in Japan. You've got this one's free, movies under the stars every night at the hotels. Every hotel has a movies under the stars at night, which is just a cool way to spend some time. There are all kinds of alternatives, all kinds of nice things, some free, some pretty expensive. Pirates and Pals fireworks cruise. But there are just all kinds of different experiences. That's what Disney is all about, making those experiences. The kitchen sink, that's a Sunday over in the boardwalk area. The boardwalk, it's an ice cream parlor over there. Can't think of the name, which is not good of me. But anyway, you've got all these kind of activities all around. In fact, we were talking about this yesterday, and Stephanie, my assistant, said that when she was a kid, one of the favorite memories she had was getting to eat ice cream for breakfast and for lunch. Maybe not the same day, but eating treats during meal times was just one of her favorite memories. So it really is, the bottom line is it's all about making memories. What kind of memories? Just being there with your grandkids is going to be a memory that you will all cherish for a long time, for the rest of your lives. But making those special experiences, whether it's just stopping and smelling the roses, sitting down with Roy on his bench up in the Magic Kingdom, just finding those special little things that you can do to give those kids some special attention. That's what it's all about. All right. Next question. All right. We got 2 or 3 more. Here we go. So this next question, this is one I've struggled with. I have to be honest. Even this morning we were talking about it, and I'm still not sure I know the answer on this one. But here we go. We're going to try it anyway. This one comes from Carrie in Indiana. Hi, Dad. Can I book Category 1 seating for Mickey's Backyard Barbecue using the Disney dining plan? Carrie, what Disney's website says about the Disney dining plan is that the dining plan is accepted at Mickey's Backyard Barbecue. Please note, guests who wish to use their Disney dining plan for dinner shows must book Category 2 or 3 seatings. This one thing that baffles me is there is no Category 3 seating for the Backyard Barbecue. There's only Category 1 and 2. And a lot of other, well, not a lot of others, but there are other sites and other places where I've read about Category 1 being on the Disney dining plan. Now, there is a little caveat to that. Mickey's Backyard Barbecue is one of the locations that requires to pay in full before, like at Cinderella's Royal Table or at Hoopty-Doo Review. You have to pay in full when you book the ADR, when you book the reservation. You can't, now, can you call? You can't do it online. You can't just book it online and say, I'm using the Disney dining plan. They're going to charge you full price. The answer about calling is kind of one of those that I can't find a good answer. Can you call and just book without paying full price? I'm not sure. I see both sides, that you can and that you can't. I think you just have to find the right, well, I'm not even going to say which one is true. But this is one of those pay full price up front reservations. You've got to do that. Then when you get to Disney, you go ahead and get the credits changed over and get your refund for the dinner. So the bottom line is there's very conflicting information about this, and I think it probably is, you're probably able to do that, but I'm not sure. I might use my dining credit somewhere else and pay cash for this one. It's actually a pretty good deal at $72 a person for the dining plan, for a 2-credit dining plan. I'm sorry I don't have a better answer for you. The information just isn't out there anywhere. Disney does say that you can only do Category 2. All right. Here we go. I got 2 more. All right, and then we'll get to your questions. If you have any questions, put them down in the comments, and we'll get to them pretty quick. I just noticed the clock, so we're going to have to move on. Here we go. I'm just starting to plan our fall 2018 trip to Walt Disney World. By the way, this is from Michelle in New York. You've kindly answered questions about our 2 previous trips, so I figured I would ask again. Last year in September, we stayed at the Wilderness Lodge, and we loved it. But next year we want to try the Beach Club. If we're going to be in Florida at the end of November, will we be able to swim at Stormalong Bay, which is our main reason for staying at the Beach Club? We want to do the Christmas party and done the Halloween party a couple times and want to try something different. My son loves to swim, and we usually spend all of our time down in the resort pools. So my question is, if we want to be able to enjoy the pool, do we change the time of year we are going, or will we be able to swim? I know you can't predict future weather, but I just thought you might have some good insight for us. Well, Michelle, you've come to the right place again. I am a certified weather observer by the National Weather Service. Yes, it was part of my job at when I was an air traffic controller to take weather observations. So I know a little bit about weather. I've also spent most of the last 40 years in Oklahoma, where we live in Tornado Alley, and every night the #1 rated news show is the weather in Oklahoma. So I've learned lots and lots about weather, kind of know how it works. Florida weather is a mishmash. Typically in November, the average temperature, the average high is 78. The average low is 60. So just based on that, you probably will be able to swim. Disney pools are heated. Will there be hotter days? Last year I was there in December and it was like 95 on December 13th. It was hot. It can be very hot in November. Anytime in November, you can get very hot times. Been in November when it was in the mid 80s. So it's very likely that you'll be able to swim. Could it be cold? It can get cold too. Not as cold in November as December, and not as likely in November as December. So the bottom line is November is a good time when it comes to pools and Disney. Not a great time, but a good time. I would stick with your November plan just because you get to enjoy Christmas. Christmas is special. Christmas, I recommend everybody go during Christmas. All right, here's the last question, and then we'll move on to your questions. And I just had to answer this question today. It came in this morning, and I just had to add it on. All right, hi, love your page. How are Father's Day crowds? Any part better for that day? In general, is that day more crowded at Islands at Adventure as well? Thank you. We're planning to go in 2019. Okay, so Father's Day, one of the busiest days of the year at Walt Disney World. Everybody wants to take their dad to Disney World for Father's Day since everybody loves their dad and everybody wants to honor their dad. That's just the busiest holiday of the whole year. I'm lying. Father's Day is not a busy holiday. It's not a special holiday. If you look at, Father's Day is always the second Sunday in June, I think, something like that. Yeah, second Sunday in June. So if you look at Dad's June crowds calendar page, you'll see that second Sunday in June is not particularly a busy day. It is right after the Florida schools get it out. So the crowds are up a little bit from earlier in the month, but it's still not a busy day. There's nothing special that goes on for Father's Day at Disney World. Don't have a clue about Universal and Islands of Adventure, but I assume their patterns are much like Disney. Which park is best? It really doesn't matter. Honor your dad. Go to his favorite park. Father's Day is not as bad. The bottom line, Dad's bottom line is Father's Day is really not, it's just another day at Walt Disney World. It's Sunday. Sundays, especially in the mornings, tend to be kind of slow. So it's a good day to visit any of the parks at Walt Disney World. All right. Woohoo! That's all the questions. Wow. Just seems like we've gone on forever, and we have. All right, so here we go. Let's get to your questions. Last call for questions. I want to get through these pretty quick, so it's getting time to wrap up. So if you've got a question, put it in now. If it's not in the next couple of minutes, we're not going to answer it. We'll answer it later. I look at the feed all week, and we'll answer any questions that come up. So, all right, first one. Natasha asks, do you know what time the buses start going to Disney Springs? We have a 9:20 appointment at Bippity Boppity Boutique, and we're wondering if the bus starts that early. Here's the answer. Buses to Disney Springs start running about 45 minutes before Disney Springs open, which is usually about 10 a.m. So you might want to plan Uber, taxi, minivan, something else. What I would do when I get to your resort would be to go to the front desk, ask them on this particular day, can we get a bus to Disney Springs? They actually have a way to call the buses if somebody asks for it. But that's just, will they do it? I don't know. They can, but I don't know that they will. So go to the front desk, check out, and then look at options. All right, here's the next one. I've got these coming out of my iPad, so that's why that iPad's floating around in front of my face. All right, here's the next question. Bridget asks, we are staying at Port Orleans Fridge Quarter in early February. What's the best Garden View building to request in order to avoid the renovations? The Port Orleans, let me just read what the answer. Okay, so with the renovations that are going to go on in Port Orleans, French Quarter, around the soft goods area, it probably is going to affect buildings 1, 2, and 3. But any other of any other of the buildings there should be fine. I wouldn't. Typically, Disney does a good job of keeping the renovations hidden with construction walls, so they're not a factor. Yeah, the Caribbean Beach Resort obviously is a little different situation than normal, but I don't think that you'll notice a lot from the renovations at the Port Orleans French Quarter. Ask me again in 2 weeks. I will be there in 2 weeks, and I'll be able to tell you. Okay, here we go. Next question, and again, this is time for the last call for questions. Sandy asks, "Hey Dad, what time do buses start running in the morning for 8 a.m. extra magic hours from Animal Kingdom Lodge specifically?" Typically, the buses start running about 45 minutes before extra magic hours start. I would probably be at the bus station about an hour before. You never know exactly. It depends on which park you're going to. If you're going to the Magic Kingdom, they tend to come a little more often. Epcot's not too bad. Hollywood Studios and Animal Kingdom, not quite as much. But 45 minutes to an hour before be out at the bus station, and you'll see what the rundown is. Okay, here we go. We got 2 more, and then we'll be done. Robert asked, "How early do we need to be at the parks to get in on rope drop the opening hour? Is it better to take an Uber from the Disney resorts to get to the park for early hours, or leave our fate up to Disney buses?" Robert, if you're going for early extra magic hours, morning extra magic hours, the rope drop is not. The rope drop is done at the ticket booth. They don't let you in until that time. So there's not really a rope drop for the extra magic hours. Now, on normal days without extra magic hours, I would suggest you're there 20 to 30 minutes in advance, depending on how big the crowds are going to be. If we're talking about the 45-minute bus thing, if you're at the bus stop at 45 minutes to an hour before, you're going to be fine. You're going to get to the park in time for opening. Now, if you wait until 5 or 10 minutes or 20 minutes or even 30 minutes before the park opens, you might have a little bit of a problem. So it kind of depends on what amount of time you want to spend waiting for the buses. If you're trying to get there for when the park opens, when you can first get in the park, Disney Transportation is fine. You just have to be at Disney Transportation when in enough time to make it work. If you're really if you've got to be there, Uber, minivans, absolutely, taxi, whatever is an alternative. But Disney Transportation will work fine. Okay, and here is the last question. Frankie asks, can a scooter kit fit on a minivan? There are a couple of minivans that are specially equipped for scooters, and I think there's probably a place on the app where you can notate that the app that you use for minivans, the Lyft, Lyft, the Lyft app. Lyft is the company that is managing the minivans. The Lyft app probably has a place for scooters, or probably has a place for you to designate that. And there are some minivans especially built for that. So you can do that, absolutely. All right. Woo! I don't have my fan in here today, so it's really hot in my room. So we got to quit. It's time to say goodbye. Till next week, Fridays. It's a Friday. It's a good day. We've had a lot of fun. We talked a lot. I talked way too much. Hope you've enjoyed this. Hope you had fun today. Looking forward to talking to you again next Friday. We got new content coming out all the time, so we'll be around. Come over to our Facebook page, say hello, talk to us in our Facebook page. Anyway, so thanks to Celebration Shirts for sponsoring Lunch with Dad. And just have a great week, and we will talk to you next Friday. Bye-bye. Thanks so much for watching Dad's video. For more simple, fun, magic Walt Disney World information, go to dadsguidetowdw.com. You can do that by clicking the I button that's popping up on the screen right now. If you like this video, go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel and get more Dad's YouTube videos with Daditude.